This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
It's precisely 6:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Sabrina Zawahir. The headlines. The supplementary estimate will be tabled in Parliament on the 7th. The Prime Minister will make a special statement in Parliament about the present situation in the country. The Foreign Minister addresses Colombo-based diplomatic corps on the present situation in Sri Lanka. First consignment of China's grant of medicines arrives tomorrow. 5,357 families affected by rains and floods. Notices issued on the IGP and director of the CID. And in world news, Russia hits a key Ukrainian region from all directions. And in sports news, 5 South African sides to play in European competition next season. Now the local news in detail. Secretary-General of Parliament Dhammika Dasanayake said the debate on the supplementary estimate of 695 billion rupees, which is to be presented on the 7th by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, will be taken up for debate on the 8th until 5:30 p.m. The Secretary-General also said that the resolutions under Section 8 of the Appropriation Act No. 7 of 2020 are to be passed following the debate on the same day. The decisions were taken at the Committee on Parliamentary Business chaired by Speaker Mahinda Yapa this morning. Furthermore, regulations as mentioned in the Gazette Notification No. 2274/42 dated 9th 4th 2022 imposed under the Import and Export Control Act and the regulation under the Local Treasury Bills Ordinance for the purpose of increasing the credit limit by 1 trillion rupees are to be passed without a debate on the 7th. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will then make a special statement on the current situation in the country, and the adjournment debate on the statement will be held until 5:30 p.m. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Professor G.L. Peiris, briefed the Colombo-based diplomatic corps at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. During his address, Foreign Minister Professor Peiris outlined the prevailing situation in Sri Lanka and the challenges encountered by the government, which included pressing issues such as shortage of fuel, gas, essential pharmaceutical products and power cuts. The Foreign Minister also detailed measures taken by the government to address the situation in this regard and called on the envoys to extend their fullest assistance. He referred to the 21st Amendment to the Constitution and outlined some of the key features. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, and Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Mahinda Sivadana, made brief presentations and responded to questions. The Chinese embassy in Colombo says that 512,640 syringes of life-saving enoxaparin sodium injection worth of 10 million renminbi, the first batch of China's 500 million renminbi grant to Sri Lankan people, will be delivered via 2 consignments soon. One consignment of 256,320 syringes is scheduled to arrive at Colombo in the midnight tomorrow by flight. The other one is expected to arrive in the second half of the month. The embassy added that 2 consignments of 512,640 syringes donated by China will be sufficient for Sri Lanka's use for 6 months. People in 43 divisional secretariat areas in 7 districts have been affected by heavy rains and floods. The Disaster Management Centre said that 22,338 people belonging to 5,357 families have been affected. 174 houses have been partially damaged. 690 persons of 192 families have been located to 10 safe places. Director General of the centre, Sudhanta Ranasinghe, requested the people to refrain from bathing in reservoirs. Relief is provided continuously for the people affected by the disasters. He said that the Disaster Management Centre can be contacted over the hotline number 117. The Court of Appeal today issued notices on the Inspector General of Police and the Director of the Criminal Investigation Department to present submissions with regard to a writ application filed over the Rambukkana police shooting incident. The writ application challenges the order issued by the Kegalle magistrate sanctioning the arrest of former Kegalle SSP KB Kirtiratna and several other police officers. Police and head of the CID have been directed to present their submissions on the 27th of June. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The medical insurance plan that begins at the age of 60. Medi60 from Sri Lanka Insurance.
Continuing local news. The opposition members of the Moratuwa Municipal Council today tabled a resolution urging Mayor Saman Lal Fernando to resign from his position. Moratuwa Municipal Council member Lihini Fernando said the resolution was tabled against the mayor as he caused disrepute to the citizens of Moratuwa. The opposition members claim that Saman Lal Fernando is no longer suitable to hold the position as the first citizen of the Moratuwa. Lady Ridgeway Hospital consultant pediatrician Dr. Deepal Pereira said malnutrition in children is rapidly increasing in the country due to the current food shortages arising from the current economic crisis. He said following a study at the LRH, it was revealed that 11 children out of 53 were malnourished and 4 children were found to be severely malnourished. Accordingly, he said 20% of the children in the ward are facing malnutrition. Dr. Pereira has requested parents to provide a healthy diet as much as they can. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Sudat Samaraviro, said today dengue fever is fast spreading with the onset of the southwest monsoon, where some 6,483 dengue patients have been reported last month alone. He told reporters that a total of 24,523 suspected dengue cases have been reported so far this year. He said most of the cases were reported from Colombo, while cases were also reported from Kandy, Galle, Jaffna, Batticaloa, Trincomalee, Kegalle and Ratnapura districts. Dr. Samaravira requested people to destroy mosquito breeding grounds in houses, office premises and in public places to prevent the disease. Elections Commissions has summoned secretaries of all political parties for a meeting on the 6th. The objective of the meeting is to discuss Voters List 2022 and present political crisis with the political parties. The Elections Commission said it expects to certify the Voters List 2022 by 31st October. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that there is a buffer stock of 65,000 metric tons of fuel in the country. He said 19,000 metric tons out of that is diesel and the rest is petrol. He said another stock of diesel is being unloaded. Meanwhile, Litro Gas Company said 50,000 domestic gas cylinders were distributed today. The company said 30,000 out of that was distributed in Colombo and Gampaha districts. The company said although there was a delay of unloading 3,500 metric tons of gas due to inclement weather, distribution of gas for domestic and commercial use has commenced from Muthurajawala gas terminal. Dr. Ruan Vijayamani says that COVID deaths have not been reported from February up to now from the Colombo municipal limits. During a media briefing at Colombo Municipal Council this afternoon, he said that the extensive vaccination program has led to the success. People residing in the Municipal Council limits are now being given the 4th dose of the COVID vaccine. Dr. Vijayamani said those above 50 years can get the vaccine from health officers. The new Chief of Defence Staff, Shavendra Silva, met President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the President's house in Colombo this morning. The President's Media Division said the new Army Commander Lieutenant General Vikum Lenege also met the President today. With that, we conclude the local news.
The medical insurance plan that begins at the age of 60. Medi 60 from Sri Lanka Insurance. A health insurance plan to honor our most valued elders by the protectors of the nation. We now give our treasured senior citizens access to the very best medical insurance, specially tailored for anyone over 60. What's more, you don't need medical screening to access this policy. And Medi 60 covers a wide range of illnesses. Only from Sri Lanka Insurance. Call 0112 357 357.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Chairman of the Committee on Public Enterprises, Charita Herath, recommended at the committee meeting that action be taken to resolve the drug shortage in the country as soon as possible using Indian credit loan assistance and other credit facilities. The recommendations were made when the officials representing the State Pharmaceutical Corporation of Sri Lanka were summoned to the COPE committee to discuss the current performance and shortage of drugs in government hospitals as at May 13, 2022, and the measures taken to address the shortage. That was main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Taking a look at Watchlight, Puttalam District Office Agriculture Assistant Director warned of a fake organic fertilizer manufacturing company that delivers fertilizer across the country. Puttalam District Agriculture Assistant Director Tarangika Shemali said her office found a fake organic fertilizer manufacturing company located in front of the Norochole Dedicated Economic Centre. That was Watchlight. Moving on to World News. Taking a look at the headlines of the world news. Russia hits a key Ukrainian region from all directions. The WHO says coronavirus cases are falling globally. Third Chinese aircraft carrier could be launched soon. The world news in detail. Luhansk leader Sergei Haidai says Russia's army is trying to break Ukrainians' defense in the eastern region from all directions. Fighting is raging in the key city of Severodonetsk, which is now largely under the control of Russian troops. Taking Severodonetsk would mean Russia controls almost all of Luhansk in the eastern Donbas region. The number of newly confirmed cases of the coronavirus is on the global downward trend. But the World Health Organization says this trend should be viewed with caution as the number of tests performed is also declining. Case numbers grew at an unprecedented pace after November 2021, with the spread of the highly transmissible Omicron variant. A media outlet affiliated with China's Communist Party says the third Chinese naval aircraft carrier could be launched soon. A shipyard in Shanghai has resumed operations after the city announced an end to its coronavirus lockdown. The third carrier is currently under construction at the shipyard. The newspaper says the carrier is likely to be equipped with electromagnetic catapults, a launching system which allows aircraft to accelerate and take off from the vessel. That concludes the world news. Prior to concluding the headlines of the world news once again, Russia hits a key Ukrainian region from all directions. The WHO says coronavirus cases are falling globally. Third Chinese aircraft carrier could be launched soon. With that, we conclude the world news. Moving on to development news. Access Engineering has completed the Stadium Gama housing project located at Sirimavo Bandaranayaka Mawatha, Colombo 14. Initiated by the Ministry of Urban Development, Water Supply and Housing Facilities, the project is partly funded by the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which is a multilateral development bank. The project is for the construction of 1,000 housing units for low-income earners. That was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
In sports news is rugby. Organisers have announced 5 South African club sides will play in European competition next season. The Stormers, Bulls and Sharks, who qualified 2nd, 4th and 5th from the United Rugby Championship, will play in the Champions Cup. The Lions, who finished 12th, will play in the Challenge Cup, while the Cheetahs, who have not played in the URC, have been invited into the event. Organisers say their inclusion will bring a new level of elite rugby. That was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Allianz Lanka, a member of the global Allianz SE Group, has been ranked amongst the top 3 general insurers in Sri Lanka and amongst the top 10 insurers overall in the top 100 most valuable consumer brands in Sri Lanka for 2022. It is compiled by Brand Finance and presented by LMD. Allianz Lanka has been a regular member of the ranking since 2019, reflecting the company's strength and market position. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Headline inflation, as measured by the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index, increased to 39.1% in May 2022 from 29.8% in April 2022. Food inflation increased to 57.4% in May 2022 from 46.6% in April 2022, while non-food inflation increased to 30.6% in May 2022 from 22% in April 2022. That was Economic News.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Finally, taking a look at the weather report. Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters may occur at some places in western and Sabaragamu provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. Several spells of showers may occur in the Anuradhapura district. Strong winds about 40 km per hour can be expected at times in western slope of the Central Hills, northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. That was the weather report. Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. The supplementary estimate will be tabled in Parliament on the 7th. The Prime Minister will make a special statement in Parliament about the present situation in the country. The Foreign Minister addresses Colombo-based diplomatic corps on the present situation in Sri Lanka. First consignment of China's grant of medicines arrives tomorrow. 5,357 families affected by rains and floods. Notices issued on the IGP and Director of the CID. With that, we conclude the news.